Sorry, Noah.
No, it's all good. Wait, my light went out.
Thank you guys for joining me for episode 3 of Bro Talk. And we have guest Brady Silverwood with us. We are super excited for this. If you don't know who he is the man that literally ran across America. And became very well known for doing that. I found you on TikTok, like pretty much after you started your journey. It was pretty early into it. And dude, I instantly fell in love with the idea, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. I've got to follow this. And so through your whole journey, man, I was watching you, and it was so inspirational. And everybody needs to go back and watch all your videos throughout the journey because they're just so awesome. But
There's a lot.
There's a lot, man.
Yeah.
So we are super excited to have you, and we have a lot to talk about and a lot of things to get into. But I want to punt it over to you and let you kind of introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your run and then your new book that you've got out.
Sure.
A little rundown on that.
Of course. Well, first off, thank you guys so much for having me on. I really enjoy your guys' show and what you do. So I'm Brady, 24 years old from San Diego. I was never a big runner until 2018. I joined this run club out in Los Angeles, and my roommate on an early Saturday morning dragged me to the run club. I didn't want to go, but he kind of was just, I don't know how he persuaded me, but I ended up going, and I ran 3 miles that day, barely could do it, but I just knew it was a good, healthy thing for me to be doing. And after kind of being around that running community, they kept challenging me more and more. I did my first half marathon in November 2018, and before even doing that, the most miles I had ever ran was 10 miles. So it really made me start to question, I guess, like my belief systems that I had formed up until that point in my life. And, then I was like, well, I should try a full marathon next. So in March of 2019, I did a full marathon in Los Angeles. And that same month was when I wrote in my journal, I'm going to run 3,000 miles across the United States. And, it kind of just was this mission to show myself and everyone else that someone that could barely run 3 miles could go run 3,000. And, I was struggling with depression and just not having that much motivation in my life and lots of partying. And, running gave me a healthy outlet to, I guess, like get back on track with my life. And I went out to New Jersey, May 2019. I got my buddy from college, Nate Heiser, to come out and do the trip with me. He was actually like my driver. So we rented an RV when I wasn't running. And just picked a random spot. I think Keensburg, New Jersey, small little town. Put my hand in the Atlantic Ocean and started running. And the whole trip was 218 days. I went through 14 states, 9 pairs of running shoes, all kinds of weather, humidity, snow, all types of implications with like our RV needing servicing, and our RV actually got broken into one night.
Really?
We went through it all out there, but it was the experience of a lifetime, man. Everyone when I went into the run would say, you're going to learn so much about life and yourself. And I was kind of like, all right, whatever. I was just naive. And I did learn a lot of lessons through the experiences because, it was firsthand experiences that really taught me a lot out there. And when I finished the run this year, my goal was to write a book. And just this month, I published my book 9 for 9 on Amazon. So 9 for 9, the 9 lessons I learned running across the USA and 9 pairs of running shoes. So,
which is great, by the way. So if you're watching this, go get his book on Amazon, 9 for 9. Really just like my favorite thing about it is just how simple it is. It's so simple. It's such an easy read and it's practical. And I'm a huge fan of just making life lessons practical and simple and easy to understand. And you definitely accomplished that with your book. So kudos for that. Well done.
Thank you.
Which one of y'all want to tell them where y'all are from, guys?
Oh, yo, wait, hold up. There's
Okay.
two things here. Okay, so one, I'm kind of bummed you didn't start in Delaware, because Delaware is where I'm from originally.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm a little bummed, but because Delaware and New Jersey have a
I'll just go restart. I'll go back and do it over.
Next time you
Do it again.
go through Delaware and let me know.
Okay.
And then Colton, I guess, I'm living in the same spot that Colton is now. So Colton, I guess you can say.
I'm originally from Arkansas, the place where your Achilles heel.
Arkansas, man,
Yeah.
I was put through the ringer out there. Yeah,
The Wild West. Literally.
The
we're
dogs out there were nuts too. Wild dogs out in Arkansas. I don't know if you.
Serious?
Yeah. When they ask you to let the dogs out, it's usually people from Arkansas.
Yeah, I got bit by a dog one day out in Arkansas.
Dude.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I didn't talk about it in the book, but it was maybe, I think, like a week or two after the Achilles healed. And I just I couldn't believe it, man. Like these 3 dogs just kind of ganged up on me.
It was 3 dogs.
It was 3, and then I crossed the street, and it was it turned out the mom was recently pregnant, so she was really defensive, and yeah, dude, she bit my heel, and I had to go get a shot just to make sure I didn't get rabies.
So getting bit by a dog, your RV getting broken into, what else happened that wasn't in the book that was really awful?
There were some other things, but I would say mentally it was always the biggest challenge, and then physically, I talked about that injury in Arkansas. Yeah. But yeah, when I got into Oklahoma, it felt so good because I was we made it through Arkansas, man.
You're giving us a bad rep, man. It's not that you were in the bad spots of you were in the bad spots.
It was more what happened to me. It wasn't Arkansas was cool, It was less about Arkansas. It was more me.
By the way, I don't know if you noticed, Colton, the picture behind Colton, he's got their little tribute to you on his screen.
I love it. I did notice that. I cracked up right when I saw that, man. I was
anyway, sorry to remind you of your place of pain. And I know you guys have got questions for him. But I wanted to start out with one question. I wanted to ask you, out of the 9 lessons that you've got on there, what's your personal favorite lesson out of there? And then we'll get into some other deeper questions as well.
Ooh,
They're all
that's
really
tough,
good.
man. I tried to get all my favorites in there.
Yeah.
Man, so the one where I talk about it's pretty much just showing up. That's kind of what it comes down to is, ever since I was young, it's I had to listen to that Eminem song to get pumped up, or whatever it was. I needed a lot of motivation to go do something. And I remember even before my run, I watched some video, and this lady was talking about how motivation, she didn't really believe you need it, and that motivation is kind of like a temporary, fleeting thing. You might watch a quick little video, but is that going to keep you, I guess, driven? And when I was out on the run, I learned so many days, say I wasn't feeling good right when I woke up, but then I just, went through the motions, kept stretching, went outside the RV. Once I started moving, I was always able to conquer whatever challenge or goal I had for the day. So I think it's got to be you can still do something no matter what doubts you have. I think that one is just so powerful because we look at a lot of successful people like they don't have doubts, or they don't second guess themselves, but they do. We all second guess ourselves at some point in our journey. So I think it's just knowing that's okay and normal, and you can still put in the action towards whatever it is you have to do, because it's kind of it's so mental. All of this is so mental. So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
I
say that
love
one.
that, man. Just doing it. Like, it's
Shia
just
LaBeouf.
experience. Like, I just this overthinking stuff is like,
Just do it.
just do it. Yeah, no, play that clip.
Just do it!
Yeah,
But just,
because overthinking it is just something that I think is so easy to do, and you don't even realize it. And so there are just so many instances I can look back in my life and be like, man, that could have been a real opportunity had I just pulled up myself by my bootstraps and just went for it. You know what I'm saying? Like giving it a full send. But it didn't really, it didn't work out that way. And so now that you're saying that, I'm like, dang, bro, there's so much in my life where I'm like, man, I just need to do it, just need to go.
That was actually another lesson I didn't put in there, but go all in. That's kind of, with my previous business and then with my run across America, if I was just like a little bit out of it, I don't think I would have been able to persevere on the days where it just got so, dark and like, wow, how can I even keep going? I think it's a scary feeling to go all in, but when you are all in, there's no like, what's my backup plan? It's like, this is the plan. It's kind of like burn the boats, if you guys have ever heard that kind of analogy.
No plan B, no retreat.
Man.
That company, the company is actually funny, bro. Because when I read that, I actually was like, yo, what? No way. Because, when you live on the coast, I guess, you get a little bit, you see more of that kind of stuff, the trains and all that when it comes to bathing suits and stuff. But that red bathing suit, I remember that distinctly because as a joke, I wanted to get one. And so I shared the post.
I love it.
I think it was too late, but that was like a thing. I was like, no way, this is crazy. I had no idea. So, but yeah, anyway.
You would, Noah. You would wear one.
Yeah, it was a joke, I promise.
Yeah, we had no idea. Like, we were just in college, again, just trying a lot of different things, and that one promotion just hit, but we thought maybe like 100 girls would share it, and like 2 million people practically shared it. So that's another testament. We almost took that post down too. So you just never know. You just got to keep trying different things.
In the book, read more about it in the book. You'll understand.
Is the money from that company, is that how you paid to do the trip?
It is. Yeah. So a lot of people on TikTok ask me that, like, how do you just afford to run across America? And I was very fortunate with the sale of that company to fund a lot of my own, I guess, personal ventures.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Brady, your third lesson in your book is we can't have roses without some thorns. And I just kind of wanted to hear from you a little bit, like, especially with the next generation. I think a big lie that they're being told is that, especially with Christianity, life is just going to be rainbows and roses and stuff and all happy and everything. And they're kind of promised this always joyful and happy life with Christ. And in reality, we know that that's going to come with hardships. And so for you, like during your run, and you can even talk about your faith journey as well, like what has that done for you, understanding that, life is not always going to be good and you're going to have some hard times. And you talk about in your book too, that those good times are going to be even sweeter when you are able to go through the hard times as well. So,
well, so for me, I would say I was generally a pretty happy kid growing up. And when I was in college, I just had this 1 week, man, where like I was just not myself, and I knew something was up, and I ended up flying back home to San Diego, and I got prescribed some antidepressants, and it was like the first time in my life I was like, what's going on? I'm a happy guy. Why am I going through this? And my depression has kind of gone in and out over the past, I'd say, like 5 years. And in 2018, when I was joining this run club, was around the same time where it was hitting really hard, the depression. And it kind of, like I said, it gave me an outlet to, I guess, stay consistent at doing something that was healthy for me. And man, like that last day of my run, I was able to look at like my whole life, like everything, good and bad. And I just realized right then and there, I was like, I've never felt so just like everything happened for a reason. God was with me the entire time, even when like on the run, there was many days, man, where like I wasn't praying, I wasn't wanting to pray. I was just like, I didn't know what I believed. And it was like, I just realized I was like, I had to go through all the so-called bad things that I went through to get to that point. I almost knew even if I didn't get injured in Arkansas, I don't think I would have been able to finish the run. I think that those injuries or those lows that you go through in your life, when you're going through them, it's hard to see on the other side that this is going to give me a greater perspective on life, and it's going to, I don't know, make me more patient or make me more compassionate or whatever it is. But those things happen, and, you know, I just felt like this immense gratitude when I finished the run. And yeah, even since, man, it's like when I'm going through a low, it's like you just got to remember that that's temporary. I think a lot of us are searching for that permanent happiness, and that's like, I think we more so need to look for fulfillment. And, you know, when we are fulfilled, it's when we're doing God's work, when we're loving people, when we're growing with the community around us. And yeah, there, you know, it's like the hard times pass. So as long as you can remember that when you're going through it, then maybe you can take a step back and say, okay, what can I learn from this? And if you're able to learn from something while you're going through it, like, you're going to crush it.
Yeah. No, that's really good, man. And there's another thing too. It's like, you know, obviously as a man, you want to be a strong person. And those strong people aren't just born, you know, you don't just come out of nowhere strong and being able to take not only, you know, take on physical feats, but mental feats and spiritual feats. All of those things take working up and working those muscles. And life is the gym, basically, if I were to make a comparison. And so we're living in a society where, you know, things are so immediate. Literally everything we want is on the phone and on the internet. I mean, we can get whatever you want, even shipping food, for goodness sake.
You could get my book in like a day.
Yeah, it's good. It's true. I got it.
I know what you mean. It's like we, yeah, man, the way we've grown up compared to, like, say, just our parents, it's
Right.
so much different.
Yeah, and if you take that thing away, you know, people start to panic. And it's just, for example, like with Corona, I mean, how fortunate are we that we have never seen an empty shelf in our life living in this country? All of a sudden, the toilet paper's gone and we're all freaking out. And it was like, okay, just hold on. Like in a week, we'll get some more stocked in, but people were freaking out. And I'm just like, man, that's what we were talking about before in the last episode. Just staying, you know, being someone who's committed and is going to stick through it even in the hard times, knowing that it's the hard times that are going to make you stronger. And learning that idea of, I guess, what do you call it? Delayed gratification. That's something that'll take you so far in life, man. So yeah, that's a really, really good thing that you learned out there.
Yeah, I said the quote this week. It's like a smooth sailor. I know, smooth sailing never made a strong sailor. It's like that same idea, you know.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's where we get back to what Reagan said. Good men create good times. Hard men create good hard men. And hard times create good hard men.
Okay, we keep botching this quote. We gotta get. Okay.
I'm the CEO of botching quotes.
Okay. but here's how it goes. Okay, I gotta think about this now. Dang it.
Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. Weak men create hard times, and then the cycle repeats itself.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So the first episode, I think you said you watched it. We talked about that. Like, what kind of man are you going to be in that cycle of history? But yeah, that's talking about that delayed gratification. Your seventh lesson is aim for the journey, not the destination. And just talking about how if you are thinking about the thousands of miles you have left to do, that's going to make what you're doing now seem a whole lot worse than it really is.
Yeah.
And instead of focusing on the place in your life God has you, maybe the job you're at, just whatever season of life you're in that He's got you in, focusing in on that and doing. My grandmother always says, doing the best you got with what you got where you are, and it's just a real.
That's rule number, or that's tip number 7. Aim for the journey, not the destination. Like I heard somebody talk about once at a retreat that I went to. He talked about don't aim to be a millionaire or a successful person, but create daily habits of what those people have. Mm-hmm. So like if you look at all the top producing people in the world, create daily habits that they have, that they encompass, and live those out daily, and you will grow to the success that they have. Mm-hmm. But if you just have the end goal of, I want to be a millionaire, well, how are you going to get to that point?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I just think, so many people are focused on that. Just like, they're like, I don't care how I get there. I just want to get there. And sometimes when you have that focus, then maybe you're not doing it morally, or you're taking shortcuts, or, if you have a big dream, let's say to be a Grammy award-winning artist or whatever it is, like, you're gonna have to realize that's gonna take you a lot of years to get that to get to that spot, and you're gonna have to go through hell and back to make it happen. Look at all the artists out there. So I think your expectations too plays a big role. I think because we get everything like you were talking about, Chris, like the next day. People maybe with their dreams think like, oh, I'm going to get this like in a week from now, Mm-hmm. I'm going to make a music video with this song and I'm going to blow up like that. That's it. That's all I have to do, So, I think your expectations, and I really wrote that one because like life is so short and it goes by like that. And the last thing I want to have happen is like look back on my life and be like, wow, I did all these cool things, but I didn't really enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
So,
trusting the process, man, it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Along with that, I have a question kind of accompanied in there. It's like a really deep philosophical question, but like, what did you listen to while you were running that whole time? Like music, books?
Yeah,
podcasts?
lots of music. Lots of music. I actually got into podcasts like halfway through the run, and I would listen to I think you guys actually mentioned Jocko on the first one. Yeah, I would listen to a little bit of his stuff. There's another ultra runner, I'm trying to think of his name. I would just listen to all different types of podcasts, but definitely ones that were I guess similar thinking as far as like pushing your body and mind to what you're capable of doing. Some funny ones too. I think I would listen to there's one Armchair Expert. Have you guys heard that one?
Yeah, I'm familiar with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like just a funny, there was some where I was just like, I want to get my mind like distracted from the pain of running, so that one did that for me. But I'd say just music and podcasts. And
you have a Spotify playlist for your daily running?
I think I did for like races, like my half marathon and marathon. I had it like a playlist for those, but I think I would just try to switch it up, man, because like it's so many days that I'd probably go a little crazy if I listened to the same exact songs every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just listen to Beyonce every day.
Yeah, I mean, or Taylor Swift. I could probably do that for
Yeah.
7
It's a
minutes.
shame Austin isn't here. It's a shame Austin.
No, Austin would have loved that.
So Brady, tell us a little bit about what you got coming up next, man. What are some things we can expect from you pretty soon?
Of course. Yeah, that's what I've learned. Once you start doing a lot of things, people want to know what's coming next. So,
Yeah.
you know, it might be just a basic answer, but I've really grown closer to God over the past few months. So that's a big goal and mission of mine, is to keep on that path. Because I've definitely diverted from that path in the years prior. So now I'm like, you know, staying focused on that. Hopefully finding a girlfriend. I want to raise a family someday soon. So
You're the real Forrest Gump. That shouldn't be very hard.
yeah, I know, but with COVID and everything, it's a little.
Right.
I don't like the Tinder and all those dating apps. I'm not a big fan of that. But
Christian Mingle.
yeah.
Hey, if you come to
only. No.
you come to Arkansas, you can do farmers only, man. Maybe you'll get a dog out of it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some girl listening to this will hit me up. We'll see. But no,
Isn't
I
that the
think.
hope for all of us?
What was that?
And I think that's the hope for all of us.
Yeah.
Some girl will watch this. If anybody, quick question: if anybody ever made a movie about your run, would you play yourself?
Ooh. I mean, I did take some improv classes growing up, so I think I could act all right. Maybe I'd be like an extra. Maybe I'd be like an extra in it.
Well, just think about it. You wouldn't have to act. You just be yourself, bro.
That's true. That is a good point.
Maybe you could play the driver. Switch roles.
Yeah, dude. Nate. No, and then I guess I'll let you guys in on this. It's kind of a newer development, but I should be, you know, nothing's set in stone yet, but I'm feeling like it could be happening as a running TV show for myself in the maybe beginning of next year. So yeah, y'all
That's
get
awesome.
the inside scoop.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do.
I mean, yeah.
Sorry, I remember seeing a video a while back about the next country you were going to run across, and is that still happening or no?
So with this potential show, it's going to be a running show. So I'm kind of like, if it goes through, saving my legs for that in a sense. So yeah, I kind of put that on the back burner for now. But you know, like I said, man, I used to hate running, and now I love it. I love meeting new people. I love traveling. So if I'm able to do that for a living, like, you know, this show would be a dream. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
Kind of keep putting it out into the world.
Yeah. We got time for a couple more questions. One I wanted to throw in there real quick was if you had to give one encouragement to young guys, or rather, I guess, what is the biggest thing you see coming at them that you'd like to warn the next generation for? Just any kind of like cultural attack or something you see the devil working on. And there's a lot that he's throwing at the next generation, but for young guys, I mean,
there's a lot of good though, like your guys' podcast. I would say, actually, I'm saying this because I noticed it. I spoke at a lot of elementary schools after my run, and a lot of these young kids, and I was this same way when I was younger too. So, you know, a lot of people are like this, but they were so wrapped up in like my pace and how quick I was and racing me and all these things. And I just think, you know, like for whatever reason, our egos are so, they always try to like creep up, and it's like, I'm better than you. And it's like this competition, almost like a rat race. That's kind of how I've been feeling lately when I see people doing certain things.
Mm.
We're all here together. We're all brothers and sisters. And I think that the quicker you can learn that it's not a me versus you, it's an us. I think that can really change someone's life, because the moment I like made that switch in my life, it almost became like I'm not competing with these other people. If anything, I'm just competing with myself at certain times. So
Yeah,
that's
really,
probably,
that's great, man. Really important to understand that it's not like you're saying me proving you wrong, but it's together pursuing truth. And, you know, if you can do that, if both people and both parties or whatever are willing to just humble themselves and say, all right, we're both willing to seek truth. If I'm wrong, so be it. If you're wrong, so be it. We got to truth. Like, that's the whole goal in life,
Yeah.
and, really, and with anybody, it's just to discover truth, no matter how that happens.
yeah.
It's also
And
defeats.
well,
Sorry. I
no,
was
you
gonna
got
say
it, Chris.
also defeats the comparative mentality that we have. You know, like social media and stuff. It's so easily to just start comparing yourself. But when you're realizing, like, okay, no, I'm clearly made the way I am. I'm the person that I am. How can I be better versus comparing the certain gifts and talents that have been given to you to someone else, and you know, dreading yourself because you don't have this certain thing that you would want that this person has. I just feel like that's a really good lesson to learn. Just humbling yourself and using what you got and just going with it.
Yeah, there's some people I'll talk to about my run, and it's like immediately they're just like, I could never do that. It's like this comparison, in sorts of like they look at themselves with less value just because I did what I did, and that's never been my intention, you know. So whenever someone says like, oh, I'm only running 5 miles a day right now and you're running 20 miles a day, like I just say to them, like, 5 miles a day is amazing, you know, like your personal achievements, you don't have to put them down just because someone else is doing it. Like, we're all on different paths of our journey, and like you were saying, we all have different talents and skills and all that. So
Yeah, Noah mentioned in a previous episode just about humility, and that's honestly a topic we could talk about in a whole episode in the future. It's so just intricate in how it's properly done and just the different ways to go about it. But do you guys have any last minute questions? Because I think we're about hitting our time limit here.
I got one.
Go for it.
If you could go back in time to your running journey and change one thing and do one thing different, what would it be?
ooh. Okay, I actually know this one. So I had one of those like massage guns, and I would use it whenever, like, I would pretty much use it on my calves a lot and my thighs. And after maybe a month and a half of running, my calves just got so like rock hard, and it was so tight to the point where when I would use the massage gun, it was so painful and it hurt so bad that like I just stopped using it. I was like, this hurts too bad. Like, after my runs, I was like sore, tired. I'm like, and now I have to go through more pain doing this like recovery. And then Arkansas happens. So looking back on it, I do think possibly if I was using the massage gun a little bit more, I wouldn't have gone through the injury. But like I said, the injury taught me so much. So probably the right answer is nothing. Wouldn't change a thing. But that's a great question.
Noah, you got anything?
Nah. Oh, by the way, earlier you said Chris, and that is my name. Noah is also my name, and so.
Oh wow. Okay, I was just looking at
His title is.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's all good.
I'm sorry, Noah.
No, it's all good. Wait, my light went out.
The lights went out.
Where'd you go?
That's our cue.
So one thing that I've been doing some research on is that with the COVID-19 shutdowns and everything in place, suicide rates among young people and old people have gone up tremendously. And I was wondering what is some encouragement you could give to younger guys, even older people that might be watching this, to continue to fight through on those hard days where it seems like you can't really make it, and you dealt with depression and still are. So I think you'd be a really good person to speak to that.
Yeah. Thanks for shedding some light on it. I know it's something that, I mean, I don't know if you guys relate with this. I haven't even heard too much about it in the media. The media doesn't really focus on that, unfortunately. But man, I would say just like, you know, I like to relate a lot of things to running, because I do think that running is a good, maybe like,
The Bible
metaphor
relates
for
to
me.
it. Run the race that set before you.
Yeah, and there were so many days, I mentioned this in my book a little bit briefly, but there really were so many days where it was hard for me to just think like 5-10 miles into my run. I had to just focus on maybe a fourth of the mile in front of me, just like finding some target, whether it was a pole or some object that I could just focus on and run to. And I think on days when it is really tough like that, what happens sometimes is when, say, maybe COVID hits, so you're not able to pay your bills, and then your girlfriend splits with you, so now you don't have your girlfriend, and these things start to add up and add up. Your mind starts to race into the future and think of like the worst possible thing that could happen to you. We're very imaginative like that. So I would say try to really just remain in that moment and just make it through that day. As far as, you know, like, again, I know you've said how do they make it through the day, but I really do. It's simple, but focusing on that day only, and not what's in the future or what's to come. Just like, hey, I'm faced with this stuff right now and this sucks, but let's just make it through today. What do we have to do? I have to eat. I have to go do this now. And then after, I'll focus on what I have to do after, you know? And then the other thing I would say is, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I don't feel like we can get through this life alone. I think that when you ask people, the worst thing that could happen to a human is to be isolated. So that's why this whole COVID thing is not fun for a lot of us. And it does take a lot of courage to reach out to someone, especially as a young male, I feel like. And when I did reach out to someone, I guess I'll just say this: there's always someone out there that is willing to talk to you, willing to listen to you, and just letting it off of your chest, in my experiences, has helped so much. So, yeah, it doesn't need to be a family member. It doesn't even need to be a close friend. Like, just going online or whatever it is, just talking to someone and saying, hey, I need some help. Can someone just talk to me about what I'm going through? And someone will be there for you.
Yeah, Proverbs says, he who isolates himself seeks his own destruction. And I think we would all agree that, the most important thing is just having a relationship with the Lord. And that peace that surpasses all understanding really, really can get you through anything. I mean, that's no joke.
Yeah, and God places certain people on our path to help us.
Yeah.
So just opening your eyes to, this person's working. God is working through that person that's trying to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Brady, tell us where we can get your book, man.
All right, 9 for 9. It's on Amazon. $9 is the paperback. Yep, I got Nate Heiser on the back, my buddy. And $5.19 is the ebook. And yeah, 9 for 9 on Amazon by Brady Silverwood. So.
Awesome. All right, go ahead, Colton.
Where can people find you on, like, Facebook, Instagram? Can they reach out to you, anything like that?
Of course. So on Facebook, I believe it's just Brady Silverwood. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as RL Forrest Gump. Kind of just a joke.
Yeah, and
thing.
Brady, I'm going to drop all your socials down in the description of this video.
Okay, cool.
Get them on there too. Yeah.
Right on.
Okay, so go get the book, guys. 9 for 9. Honestly, it's super, super good, and it's such an easy read. It's so short and it's practical and simple. So I love that about it. Well, Brady,
I tried to keep the fluff out of there, just straight to the point.
That's what we're all about, man.
Yeah.
We're no bull crap around here. It's just telling.
Oh my God.
hey, my abbreviation's BS, so no BS.
There you go. All right, guys, that is Brady Silverwood, bro. Thank you so much for your time. Your story is truly inspirational and incredible, and I still just can't believe you actually ran across America. It's really, really awesome. So
I can't either,
time, bro.
Hey, appreciate you guys. God bless you.
Absolutely. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See y'all in the next one.
Well, thank you guys.